Welcome to the Blitz Show, brought to you by Covers, where Derek Carty and his Blitz projections look to pick off the best plus EV plays for every primetime game. 20% ROI on leans and plays, 36% ROI on just plays. Derek, it's been a great season so far. We enter week 9, Thursday night football, Tennessee at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh sitting -2.5/ -3. Whopping total of 36.5. I think the lowest total of the year. 35.5, chilly 38 degrees. Kenny Pickett says he's playing. He's been limited. Will Levis has been confirmed. Mika Fitzpatrick is out. Cam Hayward could return. Levi Wallace could also play. There's a lot of moving pieces, as there always is on Thursday night. It must make your job fantastic. But let's get right to it. 2 plays from the Blitz. Will Levis under 204.5 passing yards, -114. FanDuel. That's a play. Time of recording, Wednesday afternoon. Now, this is a difficult one. For a man who trusts numbers as much as you do, sample size is your friend. How do you change what an offense looks like when a new QB comes in? Do we over evaluate? How do you figure that out on your end?
So ideally, we're going to account for it the right amount. So the blitz has been designed so that it knows how stable every single stat is, how quickly it can be trusted, how much noise is in each stat. And so it can take a sample size of just one game with Will Levis, and it can say, okay, in this game, they were this much faster pace, they were this much less pass heavy, whatever it is. This is the sample size, and it will basically use that as much as possible, as much as it can be trusted. And so that's what we do. When we do that, we see that Tennessee played quite a bit quicker last week, but they were also extremely, extremely run heavy. They went from, with Ryan Tannehill, running the ball 5% more than league average to running it 17% more last week with Will Levis. Now, the 17, because it's a small sample, is exaggerated, but the new projection does wind up being something more like 9%, 10%. So it's not like we can throw it out. It's not like we can trust it entirely, but it does matter. And this is a team that was run heavy to begin with, and now looks like they're going to be a lot more run heavy with a rookie quarterback, which meshes with what happens. Teams generally pass less with rookie quarterbacks. They run the ball more, and that's what the blitz is projecting here for the Titans. So it sees this number for him being too high based on mostly on volume, that they're going to be, running the ball more than they were before, running the ball a lot, one of the more run heavy teams in football. And rookie quarterbacks, as good as he looked last week, rookie quarterbacks on average are some of the worst quarterbacks in football. This is potentially a step down from Tannehill, at least in the short term.
All right, great answer there. Not just your stereotypical, there's going to be more tape on Levis. They're going to know the subjective handicap. So those are fantastic insights into Derek's creation there. And then the second one, I missaid it. I said it was a play. This is a lean. DeAndre Hopkins under 55.5 receiving yards, -115 time of recording. That's a points bet. That's a lean. He had 54% of his team's receiving yards last week, but multiple catches of big gains. You mentioned the word noisy. I would assume there is a lot of noise in only getting 6 targets, 4 catches, and 28 yards. Tough to repeat week to week.
Yeah, it really is. That type of per target production you just can't rely on. His target share, like you said, went down. It was only 20% last week. And like we said with Levis, team is most likely going to be running a lot more. So the under here looks pretty good. The blitz is projecting 46 yards. So we're looking at 8 yards or so under the line, which is not huge, but definitely matters. And, it shows a little bit of value.
I am on this over for full transparency, so I don't look like a guy playing two sides. I'm on this over, but this number did increase. It was at 49. I got it at 50. It went down to 48, and then it's jumped up. So Derek's on the high mark of the market anyway here at 55.5. So that's a great number. If you're looking to play that under, you're gonna that's the peak. You're not going to find anything over 55.5. And like I said, there was some movement, and it will probably be a very public bet after 128 yards. I just think on my end, the injuries too, the Pittsburgh secondary, there's some issues there, and it's going to be a tough one. But like you said, he only had a 22% target share last week, so there's arguments certainly be had on both cases, and he's not going to have 60-yard receptions every game. So let's go DeAndre Hopkins. I don't feel comfortable being against the blitz. That's for sure. DeAndre Hopkins under 55.5 reception, receiving yards minus 115. That's a lean. But before that, Will Levis under 204.5 passing yards minus 114. FanDuel. That's a play. A great insight into Derek and how he generates a projection for an offense that just has a quarterback who's seen one game to date. So that will do it for us here on the Blitz Show, brought to you by Covers. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Derek Carty. We'll be back here for more Plus EV plays, leans, primetime games all year long. Sunday Night Football.